The president is scheduled to visit Missouri twice between now and the midterms. Missouri is one state that has been hit hard by the president's trade war with China. Farmers have already lost profits because of tariffs from both countries. At a national gathering of farmers last weekend in Indiana, Mr. Trump told voters that his trade wars would pay off.
We have all the cards. Don't forget, we're the piggy bank that everybody wants to steal from. Everybody. We have all the cards, but nobody's ever chosen to use those cards. Honestly, nobody's ever known that we had the cards. They never got it, but we get it now.
McClatchy White House correspondent Franco Ordoñez just got back from a trip to Missouri. He found farmers are split over the president's trade policies. And Franco joins us now from Washington. Franco, you were on the ground there speaking directly to the farmers. What did you learn about how candidates are appealing to rural voters during this final stretch before the midterms?
As you said, farmers are really split. And the president knows this. There's a reason that he's making this large swing very much largely through corn and soybean country. You played that clip of Trump in Indianapolis talking about holding the cards. It is a concern of this administration. They're working very hard to get out the message that they want farmers to be patient and they want them to stick by with them. And then when I'm talking to farmers, you know, for the most part, those who are Trump supporters are sticking with him, but they're also very skeptical and they're very concerned because this is no doubt hitting their pocketbooks.
And you say the tariffs are, quote, the wild card in this year's election. What exactly do you mean by that?
What I mean is that the tariffs are an issue that could possibly detract some Trump supporters in the midterm elections. Claire McCaskill and Josh Hawley in Missouri, just as one example, are in an incredibly tight race. Claire McCaskill, the senator of Missouri, Trump has targeted her, sees this as a major bullseye opportunity to pick up a seat in Missouri. And for Claire McCaskill, now she doesn't have to win all of the rural vote, but she's telling her supporters she needs about 35% of the rural vote. If she can get that, she thinks she could still win. Now, the question is, all these supporters who really helped Trump win in 2016, he won Missouri about 19 points. If some of them fall back, if just enough fall off the cliff, that could be just enough for McCaskill to continue to hold her seat. But it's a long shot.
And when you were out there, though, talking to farmers, did you sense that there were some that really were grappling with who they're going to vote for at this late stage?
I will tell you that while even those who were supportive of Trump, and I will say that many are, they would not always tell me that necessarily translates to the Senate race. Some people still hold, affection for McCaskill. Obviously, some people are concerned about her and don't feel like she has been loud enough and strong enough on farm issues, on agriculture issues. But still, the tariffs and the concerns about those and whether those will be continued, they kind of like the idea of having kind of a backstop there just in case. There's a lot of history here. President Carter did this. A lot of other previous administrations did similar things. And those are very fresh in the memories of these farmers.
And Franco, you write that President Trump says that he can rework trade deals, adding that he's making the case directly to sensitive farmers caught in the crossfire with Beijing during the final campaign stretch, largely through corn and soybean country. So how is the president doing this?
Well, he is trying to put as much pressure as he can on China. He issued these 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. The idea was to decrease the amount of imports into the United States, give China a little bit of pain or a lot of pain in hopes that they would come to the table and provide and not kind of steal secrets, come to the table and not do price sharing and not do a whole host of other things that they feel have been stealing intellectual property, for example. But the problem is that instead they have retaliated largely by imposing their own tariffs on agriculture products coming from the United States. Now, China took in about $20 billion worth of agriculture products last year. More than half of those were soybeans. And that is a big, big issue in Missouri. It's a big issue in other parts of rural America. Soybeans is a massive product.
Indeed.
So this is a significant issue.
Absolutely. And Franco, let's listen to some of what the president had to say to farmers last weekend in Indiana.
Our independence was won by farmers. Our frontier was settled by farmers. And every day our people are fed, clothed, and sustained by the American farmer.
So, Franco, you spoke to some who aren't quite ready to jump ship on the president yet, as you mentioned. The reasons that the farmers give for staying loyal even through this painful process, what are they?
Well, one big reason is the fact that they're farmers, it's kind of part of their DNA. They live and die based on faith in many ways. They plant their seed in the spring or in the summer or in the fall, and then 6 months later, a year later, they harvest. They have to spend that time thinking and believing that those investments that they make earlier in the year will pay off. And Trump is delivering that same kind of message. You got to be tough. These kind of changes are not going to become easy. And if we don't do this, it's not going to change. At the same time, farmers also recognize that China has been unfair to them. They feel like some of their intellectual property, farming technology, has been taken from China. They also have a lot of friends and family. This is not only farm country, but it's factory country. And they have a lot of family members who have also worked in factories who have closed. And they hold China responsible for some of those things. So farmers do see a big picture in here. But if their wallet's getting thinner, that is an issue that, they will. It's unclear how patient they can be.
Franco, as you write, it's a high-risk industry, farming. So, of course, they are definitely have a lot to worry about. Franco Ordoñez, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.